All right, well, let's get to Josh Appel, play-by-play broadcaster nationally during NFL season for Sports USA. He does plenty of soccer this time of year. He's calling a USL championship match, Charleston Battery versus the Pittsburgh Riverhounds on CBS Sports Golazo this Saturday night. You doing your research for that one?
Of course, I've actually had them both this season, so the prep is very easy. Are you interested? Do you want to talk? Do you want to break it down?
Not so much.
Okay.
You have a rooting interest in tonight's UF Houston championship game.
Come on, Josh.
Look, I am rooting for a fantastic game between Houston and Florida.
You're a USF guy, so like I'm a UM guy. I have a tough time rooting for Florida, but you know, Crowder's our friend.
I'm not wired like that anymore. My parents went to Florida. My father-in-law went to Florida. I have friends that went to Florida. But I also know Cam Wolf, and Cam Wolf went to Houston. So it's
you just couldn't get in.
That's correct. I couldn't get into Florida. I was dumb.
Listen, anyone who can get into Florida nowadays might as well go to an Ivy League school.
Seriously.
Because I don't know what is going on at that university, but it's ridiculous to try to get in there.
It's actually why we're in the national championship, because the alumni of Florida is so rich and powerful that they just get all their kids in. Honest, people call me. I told the story. People try to get me to write recommendation letters, and I look at them like, do you really think Florida cares about how I feel about your kid? She's a nice girl, but they don't give a damn.
Well, you know what I learned when I was going through the process? They don't care about any of that stuff. Like a recommendation letter to the admissions office, whoever it's from, unless it's like actually somebody notable, it doesn't matter. None of that matters.
Well, he is notable. I think he got DJ into University of Tampa because I wrote the letter, and it was all about how my dad played Crowder. This is from Crowder. My dad played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I grew up in Tampa. I don't know. I feel like I wrote an excellent letter on Crowder's on DJ's behalf from Crowder. I think it got him into UT.
I brought a demo reel on a CD to the admissions office, and I literally saw them throw it into a drawer, and I imagine it's still sitting in that drawer collecting dust.
Solana famously got waitlisted at UCF, and no one has ever been waitlisted at UCF. They take 50,000 students a year, and Solana got waitlisted.
Erroneous, has nothing to do with this. Don't know why you brought it up.
Well, it's not erroneous. It's true. That's complete truth.
They said there's seven raccoons enrolled right now.
Did you get waitlisted at UCF?
Maybe.
It's not maybe. You've told us the story.
Hey, there's no shame.
Appel, I committed to FIU.
There's shame in that, Appel. Are you kidding me?
No.
Did you get waitlisted at UCF?
Maybe.
Oh my God.
Wow, look at that. Eskimo Brothers or whatever they call it.
Coming together. Oh my
Eskimo Brothers.
I'm not sure if I did, but I feel like I might have. I might have.
My God.
They
literally, that place, that would be like getting waitlisted driving to Jacksonville. Like, Jacksonville doesn't care who comes into the city. UCF doesn't care who shows up for their classes.
Solana and I are too good for UCF. All right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Oh my God. What your parents have done to you too, to believe that crock.
I don't want to be part of that group of fraudulent people and horrible people that attended that university. Proud non-UCF attendee.
Agreed. I cannot believe you got waitlisted at UCF.
Y'all sit outside of Wawa and wait for them to call you in?
Worlds are crumbling here, man.
We're better off, man. USF,
yeah, keep telling yourself.
Off.
Telling yourself. You know what? We had Jim Larinaga on last week. He said, by the way, speaking of the tournament tonight, he said 4 number ones in the Final Four. That's going to be the new norm because of NIL. And I don't know if you agree or if that ruins the tournament at all for you. And then part 2 of that question is Jim Larinaga told us he's never had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich before. And I thought it was the weirdest thing. And we sent out video. Appel has never had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich before. He has.
I go only peanut butter. When I would get the Uncrustables, I would go only peanut butter.
In your life?
In my life. I mean, I'm
You've
sure
never
I
had
tried.
a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I'm sure I tried one to find out that I didn't like it.
What could
But
you
I'm a peanut butter
possibly
guy.
not like? It's like, oh, I love everything about this sandwich except the liquid sugar.
I just like peanut butter more. I just wanted the peanut butter. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I like what I like, and I don't like what I don't like. Sometimes it's that simple.
I don't like you.
Did you ever have an asthma attack with that dry ass sandwich you're eating?
You know, sometimes it was a bit dry, but never an asthma attack. I'll have you know.
But that's wild. Like for Larinaga, he's in his 70s. I don't know how you get to your 70s, never had a peanut butter and jelly. Appel, I mean, I guess I would understand it a little bit more, but I didn't even know you could get Uncrustables without jelly.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure people are allergic to it, so they got to sell something. I'm sure they make just jelly ones too, for that same reason.
No, nobody's allergic to jelly.
If you're allergic to anything, it's going to be the peanuts. The peanut
you're
butter.
allergic
No
to
one's
both.
allergic to jelly.
I'm gonna look that up. Is it making sense why I got waitlisted to UCF?
Yeah, every sentence you utter.
You're
Yeah, they
allergic to
talk about that a
jelly.
lot at schools. They talk about the kids with the jelly allergies.
Don't bring no jelly to second period.
You never know. It's a big world.
No, I know. There's
Call in
no-
if you text it if you have a jelly allergy.
Let me. If you have a jelly allergy, you win the Heat tickets. Anyway, no. Let me ask you about the Panthers because we're goofing around here, but you know more hockey than we do. Should we be concerned? So Panthers, they have 5 games left before the postseason. They're in the midst of a 5-game losing streak. Is there anything to be concerned about? Because I was saying to Crowder and Solana, you can't argue the talent. The talent is there. They're just not on the ice right now.
So I would say a couple things. Number one, I think the last time that I filled in for you guys with Crowder, he asked me, like, is there any chance the Panthers don't finish in first in the division? I go, look, it's got to be some kind of catastrophic thing. They'll probably hover around 500 and they'll be fine. Well, they've lost 5 in a row or whatever the number is. They're 3-6-1 in their last 10 games. And now Ottawa is just 2 points back of them for third place in the Atlantic Division. But here's what I would tell you, because I watch all these games. I rarely miss like a second of game action when they're on the road, especially. I don't see a team that is like playing poorly, right? Like they're playing mostly close games. There breakdowns over the course of 60 minutes that happen, obviously blowing 2-goal leads to Boston, the Islanders in the third period, something very uncharacteristic of them. But then like in the big picture, you realize those types of things happen over the course of a season. It just so happened back-to-back on the same road trip. I'm not concerned at all because I think if we're coming at the starting point of the style of play is good and they're going to get healthy, I think that's a good place to start from. The chances that aren't going right now, law of averages say they're going to start to cash in on those. Like a guy like Carter Verhaeghe, he's been one of the most snake-bitten players in the National Hockey League this year. I think he's only got like 15 or 16 goals this season. He's a guy who scored 40 multiple times for the Panthers. It earned him the big contract extension. He's a clutch playoff performer. He's putting himself in the right spots. He had a ton of chances yesterday against Detroit. Like those chances are going to start to go. And watching last night against Detroit with almost $50 million worth of contracts not playing against a team in Detroit that needs every single win on the second of a road back-to-back. They played pretty well yesterday. They did against Ottawa. I think the shots were like 40-something to 18 or 19. They got goalied in Ottawa. Again, the results are not ideal. You never want to lose. No doubt about it. But I think the style of play and the system, it's fine. It's a good starting point. And I think that if they were worried, you wouldn't have seen the roster management, if you will, that we saw last night. And look, Paul Maurice and a couple other guys, they said this week, doesn't really matter who you play in the first round of the playoffs and the second round of the playoffs. You're going to have to go through one of the Florida teams and one of the teams, Toronto or Ottawa. That's just the reality, and all 4 teams are really good. So whether you're playing Tampa in the first round, you're playing Toronto in the first round, or whether you're playing Ottawa in the first round, they're all going to be incredibly difficult series to play in.
And I was going to ask you that too about the jockeying, because Solana sent us a clip of guy, on NHL.com or somebody.
Biz.
Well, yeah, are they jockeying? They want to play Toronto. They don't want to play this team. Does that happen? I know it happens in other sports. Does it happen in hockey?
I'm sure on some occasions it does, but Biz is just doing a bit there. Like there's no like ulterior motive. The Panthers are trying to lose here. They're just trying to make sure they're as healthy as possible and as fresh as possible for April 19th or 18th, whatever the exact day of the first round of the playoffs starts. Like they're in. These games don't mean anything to them. They really don't. And like we saw this movie last year with the Panthers towards the end of the season. We saw this movie at the end of Paul Maurice's first season, where I remember being on my honeymoon in California in late March, and they're losing a game to the Rangers. And I'm like, this is it. Their season's done.
I called for his firing.
Yeah. Well, that's the take of someone who might have been waitlisted from UCF as well. Just
says the guy who was waitlisted at UCF.
Listen, if there was ever an iteration of a team in South Florida, I'm not sure there's one since the Big Three that you can trust come playoff time to turn it on. There really isn't. I mean, they have proven themselves in back-to-back seasons that once that light turns on in the playoffs, they turn it on as well. I don't know how you can't trust them at this point. I really don't.
No, it would be silly not to, but it's just kind of natural human sports reaction when your team starts stacking up losses because we do the opposite too. Heat had a little, now they've lost 2 in a row, but the Heat had a little win streak there of 5 or 6 in a row, Solana. And you start to go, hey, maybe they're putting it together at the right time. Like it's just natural instinct when you're a sports fan. So you don't like seeing your team stack up loss after loss after loss going into the postseason.
I don't think with this team you can really panic given their track record. And like even if I'm wrong, like I can't bring myself to like be annoyed by the team that's the defending Stanley Cup champion.
Who scares you most in the East?
Who scares me most in the East? Honestly, it's Tampa. I think Tampa did really well,
which is really the first round matchup that we think,
unless Ottawa catches them. Vasilevsky is always a difficult task going up against him. Kucherov's having a great season. Like I said, their issue before the deadline was forward depth. They addressed that. They're a little leaky defensively at times, but that team, Braden Point, Nikita Kucherov, Jake Gensel, Victor Hedman, Vasi. I don't want to take my chances with a playoff tested roster like that.
Yeah, it was a little bit scary, but they've gotten that monkey off their back before. So what are we worried about? Let them worry about matchup.
It's just hockey.
It's just hockey.
At the end of the day,
just hockey. All right, Josh Appel. We learned a lot, Josh, about you today.
Well, you texted me earlier today if I could give you some stuff on the national championship game, and I have like notes and everything.
All right, you have 30 seconds. Go ahead. Give us a breakdown of tonight's game.
I mean, these two teams, Houston, number 1 in defensive efficiency. Florida, number 2 in offensive efficiency, only behind Duke. Todd Golden, 39, loves analytics, whether it's trying to win on the margins during the actual games or in recruiting. Walter Clayton Jr., first guy since Larry Bird in 1979 for Florida to have back-to-back 30-plus point performances in an Elite Eight and a Final Four. If Houston can somehow contain Clayton, who has been the player of this tournament, they've got a shot. It's an incredible matchup of strength on strength. You mentioned earlier, do I think that this is good for the sport? I mean, the 2 Final Four games were awesome, and you're about to get a matchup of the best defensive team against one of the best offensive teams, and we're all going to be asleep for it. So,
but Josh, quickly, my assessment, and you notice you've looked at them, and I watched the tournament. Houston likes to play half court. They want to get their defense set, and they want to get their offense set and let Usman bring it down all slow and look around. Florida's going to run and run and run. I don't think Houston, their legs won't keep up. Like, I think Florida can run them to a victory.
I think a lot of people thought that about Duke, though, as well. And for a while, they were right. And then Houston's physicality and experience took over, and they held Duke to nothing the last 8 minutes of the game and came back and won. That's why I'm so intrigued by this, because of the contrasting styles that Houston and Florida play. Have you guys seen the practice footage of Houston, what they do during their practices, where Kelvin Sampson will just roll out a ball and then everybody just goes and dives after it? It's incredible. It's a great video.
I don't know if that's basketball.
Are you betting?
I haven't decided yet.
What's your lean?
I lean Florida, but I haven't made a final decision yet.
We got.
They didn't
Walter
waitlist me.
Clayton
They just
Jr.
rejected me.
You see the white boy we have with the mohawk and the bang? You can't lose if you
One
have
bang?
a bang and a mohawk.
One bang?
He has big
One
bang in the front, mohawk in the back. Oh, you can't lose. He's a man.
I'm not familiar with that hairstyle.
What'd you think of the season finale of the White Lotus?
No spoilers.
No spoilers. No spoilers. Just give it a ranking. 1
Liked
through 7.
Liked it, didn't like. 4.5
All right. 4.5 out of the
booms.
4.5 booms out of the scale of 7. All right.
Yeah.
See ya, pal.
Bye, guys. Check that wait list.
Scale of 1 to 7 is always funny.